Hello, viewers.
I'm here with another story.
I'm here with another story.
Our memory verse
Our memory verse
is taken from
is taken from
First Chronicles 3.
First Chronicles 29, verse 11 says, "Thine, O Lord, is the greatest of all that is in the heaven and in the earth is thine." Our story is entitled Adventures After Dark. One spring afternoon, Dick asked his father, "May I go down to the pond with Jim tonight? He wants to use his big new flashlight and watch the frogs puffed out their neck and sing. May I go too? I want to go too," said Nancy's. Oh, you would be afraid," said Dick. "You are only 6 and you always yell when something scares you." Now Dick and Nancy's will never learn not to be afraid of things until you take her along and tell her about them, said father. "You may go with Jim, but Nancy may go too. And Nancy, you must be quiet and not yell. Something makes you afraid. You will not see much if you don't keep quiet." Quiet, Dick and New Nancy's could hardly wait for the last light of days to fade away. At last, darkness fell, and Dick's friend Jim came up from his house with his big flashlight. Nancy held fast to Dick's hand as they went down across the barnyard to the pond. Jim's flashlight shone ahead of them. Things looked strange at night from not at all, not at all, as they did in the daytime. Suddenly, Nancy stopped and cried, "Oh, look! There is something in that tree. Take me back. I want to go back to the house." Dick covered Nancy's mouth with his hands. "Be quiet," he said. "I knew it would be this way. I knew you would be afraid. We cannot go back now. You will just have to go along and try not to be frightened, and you must keep quiet or we will not see anything." But even Dick and Jim were frightened. When they saw what Nancy's pointed at, two great eyes shining in the full light of the flashlight. One moment, moment, and saw the eyes. The next moment, they didn't. Then, 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 the children heard a cold woo woo, and a big bird flew silently into air and away. Just in owl whispers did Dick, and they all laughed at themselves for being afraid of an owl while Dick helped Nancy's climbed the stone walls. They heard a little noise near them. Jim pointed the light into the wall. There they saw two shining little eyes looked at them from a hole into rocks. What is it? Asked Nancy softly. A mouse, probably a white footed mouse, said Jim in a low tone. It is a good thing we came along. Maybe the maybe that owl wanted it for his supper. We saved its life. It might have been been be eaten in another moment. Nancy stepped it quietly down in the other side of the wall and trying not to be afraid anymore. We should come her and save something's life every night. She said. The songs from the pond grew louder. The
There.
there must be hundreds of dams, whispered the Dick. Are they are frogs? Are they are frogs? Are they are frogs? What is that strange trailing sounds? Toads make their trailing sounds, said Jim. It is tiny frogs called spring. It 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 is tiny tiny frogs called spring peepers that do all that peeping like baby chicks, and the croaked kings comes from bigger frogs. Now all this time their old new friend Hopley Hoptoads had been singing with the otters, frogs, and newtoads. Hobby lived under the front porch steps of their house. He had hopped it down to the pond as soon as the 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 other toads and the frogs had began singing. Hobby saw the flashlight coming 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 down the path, but he was not frightened by the children. He kept trying with all his might. Hoppy did not hear the strange sound in the grass. He did not see the strange long something that slid up to him. Suddenly, Hoppy could not see the children's light. He could not breathe. He could not hear. He could not sing. Something had covered his head up. He went into the air just at the moment Jim pointed the flashlight to the ground and Nancy's yelled out so loudly that the two boys jumped. Then they looked where she pointed, and there in the shining light, there saw a strange looking somethings. Oh, it is just a snake, said Jim. That kind won't hurt you. Look at the legs and arms going out of its mouth, cried Nancy's. I never saw a snake like that. She is right, Jim, cried Dick. Look at it. Jim looked. Then he said, "Watch." He put his hand around the snake near its head. Out of the snake's mouth fell a toad. At last, Hoppy could breathe. At last, he could see. At last, he was in the ground again, on the ground again, with one big hop, disappeared down the path toward the pond. It was a toad, cried Nancy's. Oh, good. We, we, we have saved another life, said Dick. But take that snake away, Jim. Jim put the snake down and made it go the other way into the grass. Then, then, then Nancy's said, why is everything so quiet? The toads and new frogs are not saying names. We have made too much noise, said Jim. Now we will just have to stand still. Now we will just have to stand still and wait. Maybe then we will begin to sing again. Jim turned it off the flashlight and they waited in the darkness. Soon one frog stood started to croak. Dim the spring peepers began. Before long, hundreds of frogs were singing again. The children moved slowly and quietly to the dark pond. Jim turned it on to flashlight. There they saw frogs with their necks puffed out, puffed it out, singing away. Some were little green frogs. Some were old new grandfather bullfrogs. Suddenly Nancy saw something beside her shoe. She looked closer. There sat a big toad trailing away. Look at this toad, she said softly. He is singing like a frog. I didn't know toads could sing like that. Picked it up, Nancy's, said Jim. No, indeed, Nancy said. I don't want to get warts. You won't get warts. Toads can't give you words. That is just an old new made up stories. Those bumps, those bumps have a bad taste. A cat or new dog, Charlie or new fox, girl self tries to eat a toad. Only one time it picked it up, said Dick, and he left did the toad very carefully. The toad was not frightened in Dick's hand. Maybe it is hoppy, hopped toad. Nancy's. It looks like Hoppy. Maybe he has come down from the house to sing with the other toads and the frogs. All toads looked alike, said Jim. This toad can't be Hoppy, but Jim was not right about that. The the toad, the toad in Dick's hand was indeed their old friend, their old new friend, Hoppy Hop Toad. Hoppy had forgotten all about being frightened. He had forgotten what had happened did to him, just like flew minutes ago. All he knew was that it was spring, and that it was spring, and that and that he was not afraid of anything he could and see and see, and he could hear, and he could sing as the children went back to the darkness to their house. Nancy's did not hold Dick's hand. She had learned that the darkness is full of many things you cannot see in the daylight, and there is nothing to be afraid of, nothing at all. From a song for twilight. In all the folds of heaven, the stars are still as hooded, hooded, hooded sheep, hooded, huddled sheep. The tired birds, their songs all said in treetops are asleep. A slow wind walks the quiet world with little steps and new light. Sings a drowsy lullabies. Good night, good night, good night. From Nancy's brother Turner. I hoped you enjoyed it. The stories. Please subscribe if you like to hear more stories coming your way. Well, see, until next time, thank you, you welcomes for joining me today. We'll see you next time. Bye.